Hey guys. Okay, so I gotta be honest, I'm probably gonna get people disagreeing with me en masse after I say this, but the first 10 minutes of the episode have probably been the most I've found myself emotionally hooked with Wano. The other times being Yasui and Odin's executions. Because while the setup of Carrot and Wanda jumping in to fight him is simple enough, and just seeing both of them like resolve themselves to fight before transforming and charging in on Perospero and just slashing his face, which was enormously gratifying in itself. The one thing I want to point out with this episode is the seiyus playing Karen and Wanda did honestly some S tier acting in this episode, and really nailed down like the heavy emotional weight of just how much pain and regret they've been carrying around with in regards to Pedro's death. I mean, with Carrot, it was obvious, but Wanda Seiyu really captured that the character is carrying around just as much regret, yet showing how much more emotional resolved she is, and I'd really, and it's like just pretty much based on how these actors did. I really hope that the anime can do more with the fight of Wanda and Carrot versus Pedro than the manga did, because honestly, to the anime's credit, they pretty much made me care way more for this moment between Wanda and Carrot than I did in the manga. Just from the few like technical touches of music, voice acting, it all made the scene way more impactful for me than I kind of felt in the manga, and I'm really hoping that the anime can just do more with this fight, because I feel it was massively underplayed, and I kind of just want to see what these just more of a fight between what these two can do, honestly. And but so yeah, with that said, honestly, this is one of those episodes where, to a degree, I also feel the need to retract what I said in the manga, because during a lot of this portion of Wano, I had kind of this intense hatred towards Apu, to the point where I instantly laser focused on him as the most annoying character in Wano. And while he still does have moments like that, this is an episode where, in hindsight, I really should have been paying more attention to Perospero, because looking at what happens to him in the manga beyond this point, and what we saw in this episode, you, for those of you who are anime only, you will see this continuing trend where even after getting his ass beat mercilessly in a fight and ends up walking away from it, Perospero, despite being in that situation, Perospero will still end up talking some mass shit and just will not shut the fuck up. Like, trust me, if you haven't noticed it by now, noticed it by now, this is going to be this is going to be a recurring theme going forward with this character, where no matter what happens to him, he's going to be a cocky asshole. And like Perospero, and he's just, even when he walks away, just half dead, half cocked, like he's gonna say, I survived, I beat them, or something like that. I don't know, like that's the kind of energy Perospero gives off in this part of the arc. And it's the thing of, I honestly, I don't know the best way I can describe Perospero in this section of Wano is that he's honestly a repackaged version of Spondum, but without that self-aware humorous edge. Like with Spondum, you always kind of got the feeling he knew how weak he was with how much he did come across as violently insecure in his actions. But Perospero genuinely believes he's that kind of hot shit, that even after getting half cocked and dead, he's still all smiles, and he's all smiles and cocky and shit. Like he thinks he is that powerful, which, granted, he is powerful to back up his cockiness. But when he barely walks away from a fight, that's the point where he needs to just shut up. And honestly, I don't know what it is, but Wano did absolutely no service at all to like Big Mom or her crew, even despite the additions the anime is making. So, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Honestly, I don't know with Perospero. I want the guy to shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, but I do. Like, he's I think I'm going to hate. I think I can see this definitely being a kind of reverse thing, where if in the manga I I hated Apu more, I'm definitely going to hate Perospero more in the anime. Like, just hearing that voice, oh my god. It's that I do admit there are always downsides to like an anime voice acting. And this is one where unfortunately the actor is so good it gets kind of fucking annoying. And yeah, Sparrow, just please shut up, please. Oh my, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll get away from that. Now, this is also an episode where we start to see Tama's like importance to the climax already starting to take shape, as she's already brought along one of her animal companions to hold off page 1. But if you'll also remember, her power does have an effect on those in Kaido's group that are gifters, and it's just kind of this purely ironic turn where the very reason Kaido wanted Tama's power to begin with is already turning against him, just from her rival Ano Nigashima. And the key thing to focus on from here is going to be like the shift in power and number dynamics, like especially the number dynamics. Like with Kaido having gifters on his side, it's one of those things where it's funny how like in Kaido's attempt to create this whole zone type army, he does have a powerful army, but unfortunately it all because of this one little girl. It's also going to end up proving to be it's also going to end up proving to be the pretty much one thing that's going to just completely go against him. And with that said, though, obviously, as the title of the episode says, the back half is largely Yamato versus Sasuke. And I forgot how this fight played out in the manga. I think it lasted even less time in the manga than for how long it's lasted here in the anime. But one thing I did find interesting is there are certain emotional ticks that the anime is hitting on with Yamato's character that are giving us a bit of an earlier idea of what she's really like, or what she's really about, like her history, all that stuff, compared to the manga, where it kept most of that stuff fairly still in the shadows. Again, can't say for sure if this is the case. It just feels that way, but in either case, I am glad we're getting like the more serious and resolved Yamato now compared to the one who's like, yeah, I'm Odin kind of thing. Like, yeah, I'm honestly, I think the manga actually focused more on that than the anime did, but I could be wrong. I will admit, for as drawn out as things have become for as drawn out as things were in this episode, it is kind of making me take Sasuke a little bit more seriously as a threat. Not by much, but enough to where now that Frankie has made it onto the scene and is facing down Sasuke now, there might be a better chance I'll have where I might potentially actually take the fight with Sasuke and Frankie more seriously. Because I remember when I was reading the manga, the fight with Frankie and Sasuke just kind of happened. Like it didn't really leave all that much of an impression on me, and I was just like, yeah, this existed. So I'll be curious to see what this is going to be the first real test for me. This is going to be the first real test, honestly, of the Wano arc, honestly, because there's a lot of fights between the Animal Kingdom pirates, the Beast Pirates, and the Straw Hats that are just kind of okay, and to the anime's credit, that they actually did make me care, and there's very few of them I actually liked. The Usopp and Nami versus Page 1 and Ulti is one I definitely liked, even both in manga and anime, but I'm hoping the anime can make me care about like the Robin versus this upcoming fight as well, because I wasn't really a big fan of it in the manga. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Crunchyroll, and be sure to share the video around, guys. Dark Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, everyone.